Long before the freeways and glass towers, Dallas moved with the pace of a trolley bell. Over time, the city abandoned its streetcars, then brought them back from the dead.
St. Consolidation.
Most people experience Dallas through a windshield. A place teeming with traffic lights, freeway ramps, and busy intersections. But today, we're taking a different route. One that moves a little slower, and one that reveals a side of the city many may overlook.
Clear track 3 into the barn, put it all the way over, please, sir.
Car 369 departing Klyde Park, 65 PSI.
It isn't the most direct route, but it might just be one of the most interesting. Today we're riding the M-Line Trolley, and along the way we'll discover historic streetcars, vibrant neighborhoods, and pieces of history that remain today. The M-Line is a nonprofit organization preserving Dallas streetcar heritage. Founded in 1983 by Ed Landrum, Phil Cobb, and a group of dedicated volunteers, the M-Line has kept the city's streetcar legacy alive for more than 4 decades.
We incorporated in 1983 as a nonprofit. We thought that we'd go the route of nonprofit, and we'd tug on the heartstrings of philanthropic Dallas. And that proved to be the right way to go.
Story is, in the early 80s, they started to redevelop the Uptown neighborhood. They wanted to have the old brick streets again, so they stripped off the asphalt. But the tracks were still there from 1956 when the original trolley stopped running here. And one of our local trolley fans noticed that. He got with the developers, he said, you know, those tracks will last another 50 years, and I've got 2 trolleys in my backyard that I'm restoring.
That makes a big difference if you're ripping an entire street out and you've got these railroad tracks out the middle of it. It changes your bottom line of where it's gonna cost to get in there and tear that out.
We got a federal grant in about 1988 for $1 million. That really paid for the study and the engineering work and all of that. We went back a year later in Austin and got another $6 million, and that enabled us to build the first phase of the system. And then we had to find ways to cover our operating maintenance expenses. 5 years after we got in operation, the Uptown Public Improvement District was founded, and they are a major contributor for our budget. They give us $275,000 a year.
City Place is our starting point today. Here in Uptown, modern Dallas meets one of the city's oldest forms of transportation.
When Phil and my father started this company, the area we today call Uptown was the largest area of undeveloped and underdeveloped real estate near a major downtown area in North America.
Supported by the community, the M-Line connects Uptown, Downtown, the Arts District, and Klyde Warren Park. For many riders, it's a simple way to move between destinations. But this trolley line is much more than just transportation. Every car in the fleet carries its own story. Stories of craftsmanship, of preservation, and heritage. And stories of a city that once abandoned streetcars and later welcomed them back. As I ride along today, I realize the M-Line isn't just all about the trolley cars. It's about the people who care for them. The men and women who patiently rebuild them, keep them running, and piece by piece bring them back to life. Because of their dedication, the trolleys still ring their bells.
Hello, how are y'all doing?
Open their doors, and carry passengers through the heart of Dallas.
One of the interesting things about Matilda, first of all, she's our largest car, and she has 3 different compartments. You load and unload from the center, and then there's 2 other salons, we call them.
Matilda's story begins on the other side of the world. She was built in Melbourne, Australia, and represents craftsmanship of a different era.
She was purchased by a broker from the West Coast. I think the cost was, $25,000 for Matilda. And I think it cost us another $25,000 to ship her over and from the West Coast, then across overland to Dallas. She was completely redone by us, the inside and the outside, by us once she got here. And we put the Dallas colors, the maroon and cream is one of the 2 or 3 different color schemes that the Dallas Transit system had over the 70, 80-year period. But the maroon and cream was one that we adopted, and I think probably 3 or 4 of our cars have got that color scheme.
More than a century after first entering service, she still carries passengers through Dallas. Notice the details. Polished brass, the rich woodwork, and a center entrance. And these are features rarely found in modern public transportation. Boarding Matilda feels less like entering a transit vehicle and more like stepping into another time. From behind Matilda's windows, you may realize that few places feel more connected to Dallas trolley car history than McKinney Avenue. Over brick-paved roads, the route passes restaurants, shops, apartments, and offices. And for generations, these rails were part of everyday life here on this street. Dallas entered the street railway era in 1872. The earliest cars were pulled by horses and mules. Archaic by today's standards, but revolutionary for a rapidly growing city. Within a few short years, electricity had transformed urban transportation. The streetcars became faster, more reliable, and important to daily life. As Dallas grew, so did its transit system. And by the early 20th century, the network connected neighborhoods, businesses, and public spaces throughout the city. And then in 1911, Dallas consolidated several lines into one of the Southwest's largest street railway systems. This seems like a good time to talk about another personality on the M-Line, Betty. Car 754. Built in 1926 for the Dallas Railway and Terminal Company, Betty carried generations of Dallas residents through the city streets for nearly 30 years. After retirement, Betty spent decades on the Carpenter family ranch in Irving.
Their ranch is now what is Las Colinas, Texas, the urban developed community. And with what they did, they built a western town around the streetcar. And after the grandkids all grew up, they donated it here to McKinney Avenue Transit Authority.
Ben Carpenter told me that when my grandkids stop playing in that streetcar in the little town that I built around it, I'll give you the car. And he was a man of his word. He called me one day and said, Cobb, come get it. I'll never forget, your dad and I, we were out there within 48 hours. We had a crane. We had to put straps around the car because there was a town built around it. We had to pull the car up and put it on a lowboy. And it went to Ida Grove, Iowa, I think, to begin its restoration.
Today, Betty has a second life here on the M-Line. And as she rattles along the tracks, it's easy to imagine a time when these trolleys were a common sight on the streets. But like many American cities, Dallas eventually turned its attention toward the automobile. And buses replaced the trolleys. On January 14, 1956, Dallas streetcars made their final run. After more than 70 years of service, the bells and the air horns fell silent. The tracks remained, but the streetcars were gone. Shortly afterwards, this car, the Green Dragon, disappeared from public view. Its future uncertain, its survival unlikely. Years later, it was discovered serving as a hay barn and then restored. And today, the Green Dragon rolls once again through the city it was built to serve. Not as a museum exhibit, but as a working part of the city.
186, the Green Dragon, would probably have to be my favorite. She is the quintessential Dallas streetcar. She was called a Stone & Webster standard. Stone & Webster at that time was a build design company. They operated streetcar systems all over the United States. They built a standard design and they sent it out to all the car builders, St. Louis Car, American Car, Cincinnati Car Company. They would call them up and say, yeah, we want 20 Stone & Webster standards for Dallas. And they'd say, okay. And they'd pull the drawings and build the car.
Here we go.
This trolley system doesn't simply connect historic places. It also links some of the city's newest public spaces. One of the most successful examples is Klyde Warren Park. Built above a recessed freeway, the park transformed a plain, formidable barrier into a gathering space. Places like this remind us that the best cities aren't just built for traffic, they're built for people. Just beyond the park lies another side of Dallas, one defined by creativity, architecture, and culture. As Dallas continues to evolve, the trolley remains a thread connecting past and present. By the middle of the 20th century, streetcars were changing. Designers envisioned a faster, sleeker future. Cars like Emma represented that vision. Unlike Matilda, Emma belongs to a newer generation of streetcar design. The streamlined PCC cars represented the future of urban transportation.
But PCC stands for Presidential Conference Committee, meaning all trolleys that were made in that era have interchangeable parts. So we had 2 PCC cars. This one is from Belgium, Brussels, and our other one is from Toronto, Canada.
Everything about the design reflected the optimism of the era. Modern, efficient, forward-looking. While Matilda reflects the fine art of the early streetcar era, Emma reveals where the technology was headed. Together, they tell the story of how these cars evolved over time. But perhaps the best way to understand the M-Line is just simply to ride it. Maybe the most remarkable thing about this trolley line isn't the age of the cars. It's the way they continue to serve a modern city. Dallas has always been a city in motion, one that constantly reinvents itself. Interesting neighborhoods emerge, and new buildings reshape the skyline. Innovative ideas define each generation. Despite all that change, these streetcars remain part of the story. Not preserved behind ropes, not hidden away in a museum, but woven into everyday life, carrying residents, welcoming visitors, and connecting people to places. There's certainly nothing wrong about seeing the city from your car. But every once in a while, it's worth slowing down, taking a different route, seeing it from a new perspective. One measured less by speed and more by stories. Stories of innovation and preservation. Stories that continue to move through Dallas every day.